So far we have 750 teams participating from over 10 countries, and we have over 3,000 participants who have registered for the challenge. So it's really exciting to have such an enthusiastic response to cause, and we're really looking forward to seeing your solution pitches and having you go on to the next stage. So today's AMA session. So this session is called Ask Me Anything, because we are here to answer any questions that you may have. So we understand that many of you may be doing something like this maybe for the first time. Maybe some of you have done something like this before. Maybe you're used to design thinking. Maybe you've learned design thinking in your school or in your college, and there are many of us who may not have also been exposed to design thinking before, and you're trying something out for the first time. Either way, I think you all deserve a huge pat on the back for joining cause, for being here, for wanting to participate in this challenge. I know many of you have so many other things going on, but you all have still made it. So give yourself a big pat on the back for that. All right, great, awesome. So through this session, I'd just like to tell you all that all of you, it would be great if you can also turn on your video. Happy to see some faces and interact with you, and happy to tell you a little bit about the next phase of cause. Now that all of you have registered, everyone who's here are people who have registered, right? So since all of you have registered, you may have gone through the challenge brief. You may have already started working on your project. Maybe you've already finished working on your project and you've submitted and you want to know what's next. Whatever stage you're in, we're happy to guide you through the process and to help you. Okay. So happy to take on your questions in any form. I'll just let you all know exactly where we're at right now and what we're expecting for the submission requirements, and after that we'll start getting your questions. All right, okay. So you can ask your questions in any form. It would be great to also have you all ask in person. Since we're all here, it would be good to see your faces and hear your voices and interact. I also understand if you're not comfortable with speaking, and if you would like to drop it in the chat, that's fine as well. Okay, so just to take you through a little bit of where we're at, we have closed our registrations right now, and we will be having this is now you're in the phase of submitting your projects. There are many of you who've already submitted, but a good majority of you haven't submitted yet. And now what we want you all to do is give your best, plan your submissions. There are two things that you need to submit. One is a video, a 3-minute video. There were a lot of questions about how long the 3-minute video could be, whether it could be, if it could be 3 minutes and a few seconds, or could it be, does it have to be less than 3 minutes? And then we had a lot of requests. And since there was a little bit of confusion around the 3 minutes, we have said, okay, for any video that is still at the 3-minute mark, up to 3 minutes and 59 seconds, we are allowing for this video submission. Even though we had said that it should not exceed 3 minutes, we've given this exception because there are many students who, maybe may have interpreted it that way. So that's about the 3-minute submission. In your 3-minute submission, we've asked you to do a few things. That is, go through, ensure that you are talking about your problem, your insight, your pitch. We've also shared the same on your WhatsApp groups. So I'll just read it out to you. So your problem, your insight, your solution, how is your solution addressing the problem, and your plan to implement the solution. These are the things that we've also had in your, we've also written this down in your challenge brief. So please go through your challenge brief. And another communication that we've had is how we're going to be judging for this first round. Can I please repeat 1 second? Sorry, I'm having some questions. Can you please repeat? I had an internet problem. Jay Gajwani. All right. Don't worry, Jay Gajwani. We will be recording this session and we'll also be sharing the session with you all. So whatever you've missed, you can always catch up on. Okay. So don't worry. All right. So I just want to tell you all about the main criteria for your projects being evaluated. The first thing would be your problem. Are you clearly defining your problem? Are you clearly stating what the problem is and its significance and impact on the target audience or community? So say you're taking up a problem. Great. Nice to see some thumbs up. All right. So if you're taking up a problem that is based in your community or in your home or in your school, then you're very specifically talking about what that problem is. How do you know that this is the main problem? Have you done some interviews? We want to know what you've heard, what you've seen, and how you are validating your the problem that you've identified and your insights. Yes. Hi. All right. And I'll just take you through the main criteria and then I'll start answering all your questions. All right. So we want to know that, and then we want to know your insights. Your insights, your insights that where you've identified what are the real needs of the user and the pain points, and have you identified exactly what the problem is, right? Like maybe the problem, there are maybe 10 different problems that are going on, maybe there are 10 different mini problems. From that, have you picked up one problem that you want to take, and are you focusing on one specific area? Because taking up large problems like poverty or even if it's waste management, if you're looking at all types of waste, it can be a little overwhelming. It can be quite a lot to deal with. So we want you to take a problem that is a little specific. All right. And you have some, you're clearly understanding who the main user is, that who you are focusing on. It could be multiple users, but it would be good if you have one key focus user and you are coming up with you're understanding their pain points. And then we want you to, after you've clearly done your research and identified the problem, we're looking for your solution. The idea that you have, you can explain your idea, you can explain if you've made a prototype, share pictures and videos of your prototype, or if it's going to be something digital, if it's an app, we want to see all the different screens, what it would look like, what are the features, how is it going to work. We'd like to know all of this. And how do you plan to implement your solution, and whatever resources you would need. Do you need support of volunteers? Do you need help? How do you need it? And please ensure that your presentation is clear, visual, and not text heavy. So that's all. These are our main instructions that we have put together, and now I'm opening it out for all your questions. Okay, first I'd like to hear from Jay. Yes, Jay. I can't hear you, Jay. Could you unmute?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. Ma'am, ma'am, for the PPT, I have inserted the link for the website at the end of the PPT. So, ma'am, should I show the PPT in the PPT? I mean, should I show the website in the PPT too, or should I just give the link?
If you've already attached the link at the end, that's fine.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
If you would like to show one screen or a couple of screens, if it's possible, then it's fine. And you can say to see the entire website, click here. Right? That is so that whoever the judges are, so that they don't miss it. Right? In case your website should be very clearly, put. Don't put it somewhere in the corner and in very small font. Just ensure that it is something that people can't miss. So
Yes, ma'am.
that you've created a website. So great going. All right. So many hands. Wonderful. Great to see all your hands up. We'll be answering your questions one by one. I will now just take one question from the chat and then I'll get back to the main thing. So Kinjal says, do we have to mention all the steps we have taken? So we understand that you have only 3 minutes. We also understand you have only 15 slides. We'd like to know from all the steps that you have taken. Maybe you can just list all the steps that you have taken, but more than that, we would like to know what are your insights from your research. So maybe you've interviewed a lot of people, maybe you've interviewed 50 people, maybe you've observed a lot of places, and maybe from all of these interviews and from observing all of these places, you've seen some common patterns, and you're seeing that, hey, many people are saying this, or this is actually the problem, or this is what is happening. We want to know more about those things. You can list every all the things that you've done from over 60 interviews with these stakeholders, and this. We have found that these are the main emerging problems that you can say. All right, now let's hear from Varsha. Yes, Varsha.
So, where are we supposed to post the video in?
You're supposed to post the video. See, the video, there are two things. If you go into your dashboard, if you go on the website, you've seen the website, right? The
Yeah.
cause cmr.edu.in slash design.
I did.
Yeah. So over there, you can sign in. You would have got a login user ID and a password. So if you sign in with your user ID and your password, you can submit two things. One is you can upload a document, and two is you can paste a link. So that's where you need to paste the link.
Okay, thank you.
All right, yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Varsha. Yes, Gagan.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, basically, I wanted to ask, can we bring our own device for presenting on that day?
Yes, you can. So first, before we go into presenting on that day, we are first looking at the shortlisting round. There are 60 teams that are going to be finally shortlisted, who will be going on to the next round. All right. So if you are selected for the next round, then we'll give you the next set of instructions. If you are in Bangalore, we would love to have you on our campus on Design Thinking Day, which is March 17th. You can come with your team. We'll be giving you a space to set up, and you will, exhibit everything that you've done, and you will be talking to people about your project. All of that is something that you can do. You will even have jurors coming and talking to you. So at that time, if you wish to have your laptop along, that would be great. You can do that. So,
ma'am, also, how much time will each team get to present, ma'am?
Each team will get a total, your presentation time, we'd say keep it within 3 to 4 minutes of explaining your entire project. The jurors would have gone through your project in advance, even before coming to your table. They would have seen everything in advance, right? And once they come, you can take them through your project one more time. And we have about another 4 or 5 minutes dedicated to your question and answer session with the jurors. And after that, they will be moving on to the next table. So a total of a maximum of 8 minutes. We're keeping a buffer of 2 minutes to switch from one team to the next team.
Ma'am, and last question, ma'am.
Yes, sure.
Ma'am, so then you told that you will tell us the process later, right? So the question is that, ma'am, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Please tell me.
Ma'am, so on, ma'am, we have submitted the presentation, ma'am. So you told that if it is an app based, you'll have to show some screen, but our process is still in ideation, and so we have put the slides based on that, ma'am. So it's necessary that you have to have the app screens.
Are you designing an app?
Ma'am, the idea is about the app. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if your idea is about an app, it would be great if you can have some kind of an early prototype. Even if you can draw it out, and you can do something basic on Canva as well. Canva? Have you heard of Canva? So there are phone screens and things. It's just like how you're doing a presentation. You can easily edit and make phone screens. So you can just explain how your app would work. What are the different features? What would people do? What are the main things about the app? So it would be good to have that, because your idea, just as an idea, without bringing it out into a prototype form is it wouldn't be enough, right, to explain.
Okay.
So it would be good to have some form of prototype. All right. Thank you, Gagan.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right. All right. Thank you, Gagan. Yes. Okay. And yes, I'll just take one more from the chat and then we'll get back. Okay. Oh, there are quite a few in the chat. All right. Please. Okay. Can insights also include brainstormed solutions? Akaraju Lohit has asked this question directly. So insights can include brainstorm solutions. Your insights are basically insights are like aha moments. The moment that you realize what is the real problem? Why is something happening the way it's happening, right? Say maybe you're dealing with a problem like okay, let's say people using people wasting too many straws at a coconut stand, right? So maybe your insight could be that people are maybe you have an aha moment realizing that the main reason that people need straws is that they find it hard to drink the coconut otherwise, but if they had something else to help them drink from the coconut, then that would be way easier, right? That moment of understanding or really identifying what is the user's real need, that's an insight. I hope I've answered your question. Then Ayan says, can we use pictures from Google or do we have to use only non-copyrighted, non-licensed pictures? You can use, there are many stock images and things available on Google. So you can use stock images and pictures that ideally you have taken yourself would be great from your own primary research and if you're showing your own things. So that's all right. Then can you please explain what is an insight? All right, I just went through that. Do we need to include interviews in our PPT, please? So from your interviews, whatever your main insights are, you can include it. That is, maybe you've conducted 10 interviews and everybody in your interview has spoken about 2 or 3 points. Maybe you're talking to people about, say, for example, you're talking to a bunch of people about their food waste, and maybe everyone is talking about food waste that is left over in the fridge, right? Or maybe they're all talking about excess food that is there somewhere, like maybe at a wedding or wherever it is. So the common things that you're hearing, you can pull those common things out of your interview and have those as the main points. We would like to see the main points. What are your learnings from your interview, right? What did you learn from conducting this many interviews and doing all of these observations? What are some things that struck you, and what is your learning? We want to hear about that. Then I'll get back to this. Now I'll get back to hearing your questions. So Advait Raju, yes, you can go.
Ma'am, so can we upload does the video specifically have to be a YouTube link?
It could be YouTube, it could be Vimeo. If you want, you could even have a Google Drive link with your video up and share that. The thing is, it has to be accessible for anyone to view.
Ma'am, and we are making a website, so we're going to publish a website. So can we send? So in our PPT, we'll explain our website, but should we add our website link for you to access it?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course, please add it.
Okay,
right?
ma'am. Thank you.
And for all of you who are working on digital, solutions, and if you're creating apps or websites, don't worry or don't feel like you need to have an app or a website that is working. It's okay even if you are able to show the different screens and show all the different features. We are more interested in understanding your idea more than seeing something that is working. If you've made something that's working, that's fantastic. If not, also, it's fine. All right, we are considering all your activities. And yes.
Ma'am, if we get selected, the day is on March 17th, but we'll have exam the next day. So is it compulsory for us to come, or like an online thing there?
Okay, so only the 60 shortlisted teams will be invited to come for the final round. So if you are in school, we understand that many school students are having this, the same question, which is, it is your exam season and it is your exam time. So for schools, we may have it virtually. A few days before March 17th itself, we may have a virtual round where you can present to your judge. Since we are also having a virtual round for participants who are not from Bangalore, yours will also be virtual, so that you don't have to worry about your travel and all of that, right? But if you get selected for ground zero is the top 6 teams will be selected for ground zero. If you're selected for ground zero, then we would like you to come on March 17th in the afternoon physically if you're in Bangalore for the ground zero. If you're not from Bangalore, you can participate in ground zero even virtually. So depending on your exam dates, depending on what you can do, we'll figure it out. So first we'll get, first you can first submit your projects. We'll have the final shortlisted teams, and from there we'll take it forward and we'll support you. We completely understand that you have exams. We'll support you in whatever way we can to make it as easy as possible for you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. And okay, yes, Ira Dwivedi.
Our video, like when we're explaining in our video, does it have to be an explanation of the presentation which we've done, or a separate explanation?
It's an explanation of your project. It can be in whatever way. Your explanation should include talking about the problem that you've identified, your main insights, and the solution that you've come up with, your entire project. So ideally, I would say within the first minute, you should be able to cover your problem and your insights, and spend at least 1.5 to 2 minutes talking about your solution. Okay. Does that answer your question? It is up to your creativity. If you want to do a voiceover to a presentation and submit that as a video, you can do it. If you want to just record your face as you are talking about your project, what you identified, what all happened, you can do it. If you want to have how people make reels on Instagram, and y'all are the generation that's putting up a lot of videos. So y'all have seen so many videos where you have somebody talking and then you have pictures flashing. If you're talking about what you've seen, you can switch from you talking to the pictures and then again back to you talking, or you could have words pop up around you, like how you have on Instagram, or with reels, or wherever you've seen. You can do anything. If there are some students who are even using some tool to animate their videos and things. You don't have to venture into all of that. If you're not comfortable, you don't have to. Our main focus with your video would be, do we understand the problem? Are you clearly communicating the problem? What you've identified as the main problem that you're going to take on, and your solution. Are you clearly expressing what that is? Are we able to understand everything clearly? That's what we are focused on. However you want to do the video, you can do it, but keep it to 3 minutes. All right, Ira, I hope I've answered your question. Ira, okay, not sure where she went. All right, Arnish, yes.
I have 2 questions. The first question is, ma'am, if the video is more than 3 minutes, is it fine?
It's okay as long as it is not touching 4 minutes, right?
Okay, it's 3, 10
50.
or something.
That's fine.
Okay, and ma'am, I have one more question. If I have submitted one of the PPT and the video, and I have one website ready, and I have to submit it again. So how should I do that?
I would suggest that if you have a website, please put the link to your website in your
PPT.
In your PPT. right?
So, ma'am, what has happened is I have the website, but the PPT is already submitted. So, can I resubmit it?
You can resubmit.
Okay.
We can
resubmit it. No?
Yeah. Whatever you've put up, if you want to change it, if made any changes, you can always change the file and resubmit.
Okay, and ma'am, is it fine if we have no in the video we have only text, we are not talking? Will that work?
Only text as in there's just
it's going on the screen and we are not doing anything. Just play it, will work.
All right. Is there a specific reason? How is that different from reading a document?
No, that's just reading. The person has to just read it.
Okay.
And we didn't talk in it.
Okay.
So is that fine?
How is the text coming? Is it different from your presentation?
I exactly don't know.
Okay. All right. I would suggest it would be when you have the opportunity to submit a video, we'd like to hear, ideally, we'd like to hear about your project as well and see any videos that you have.
Okay.
So, objective behind the video.
We have the prototype online, not offline.
Okay. As long as you can share everything that you are doing, that's fine.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. All right. Next is if Mr. Vignesh is here. Mr. Vignesh, there are so many questions coming in. If you can, could you answer some of them on the chat itself? That would be great.
Hey, Vindhya, I don't have access to the chat, so I think it's coming to you privately.
Oh, it's coming to me privately, is it? Okay.
Can you make me co-host? Then maybe I should be.
Yeah. I will just make you co-host. One sec. All right. Let me know in case you're able to see the chat.
Right. I don't have access to the previous chats. Can you just tell me the questions? I can answer it.
All right. So what I'll do is I'm just copying all the questions and I'm going to wait 1 second. Just hold on, everybody. I'm just there are so many questions coming in. Okay. Okay. With this, I am going to send it to. Okay, just give me 1 minute, everybody. Let me just share all the questions with Vignesh, so that he can also help with answering. You have access to the chat now, right? So what I'll do is I'll just take a picture and send it. I think that'll be easier because I'm not able to.
Yeah, you send it. I'll just answer the other questions here. Hi, Srutish. You can go ahead.
Yeah.
Hi, Srutish. You raised your hand. Okay.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay. While uploading the documents, then you can upload for some company about some companies, ma'am.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Ma'am, for supporting the documents, ma'am, whether we can upload the case study, ma'am. Introduction case study about what they to improve, what they need to improve.
Sure, you can. You can do case studies and share that as well in your document.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. All right. As long as all of these things are relevant to your project, you can share these details. All right. And Vignesh, Vignesh, I've shared it on the group on WhatsApp, the questions, so that you can also answer. All right. Yes. Yes. Sejal 7A.
Ma'am, what do you like? What do you write in the slide? Ideate and empathize.
Okay, empathize and ideate. Would you write in the slide? Yeah, you can, of course.
Ma'am, like, what do you write in the slide? Like, in that topic, what do you write for the PPT?
Okay, so the empathize phase is you've done your research, right? As in, okay, so when you did your, have you gone through the design thinking process before, or are you new to the design thinking?
Like, I did go, but then I am not able to understand it. I don't know, like, what to do in empathize.
What to do in empathize. Okay, in the empathize phase, so in the typical design thinking phases, there are 5 phases. That's empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test, right? That's what we've also put in the website. In the empathize phase, we want you to understand the problem. So when you're trying to understand the problem, you might do different types of research. You might do primary research, which is you are going and finding the answers to the questions that you have. Maybe you're going and observing something, maybe you are asking questions, maybe you're interviewing people, maybe you're doing these things. And that's what you're doing in the empathize phase. You're doing some design research. All right.
I'm in the ideate phase.
And then in the ideate phase, you come up with ideas. Maybe you realize that this is the problem. When you're doing your empathize phase, you realize what is the main problem that you're dealing with. And then in the ideate phase, you come up with solutions.
Ma'am, solutions, different solutions for our problem.
Yeah. And from that, we want you to pick one solution and, take that forward, make a prototype and, share that.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. You're welcome. Okay. Yes, Varsha.
So, like in our team, there are 5 participants, and then in the video, should all the 5 participants stay in the video, or can one of the participants, because sometimes we may have a glitch between us, and then not between us, where all of us can't make the video together. So, can 4 of us or 3 of us do it? Or should all the participants stay?
I would suggest, because it's a very short video, if one person from the team could do it, it would be good. But if you want, you can have 1 or 2 people is fine. Beyond that, it shouldn't get confusing, right? If too many people are speaking. On behalf of your team, you can speak. Okay.
Okay, so is the limit for the team?
If you want to have all 5 people also, it's fine. You can have everyone. Yes, tell me, Varsha.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Depends on how you're doing your video. I'm not sure about how exactly your video is happening, but as long as in your video everything is being communicated clearly, it's perfectly fine. Any number of people can be there in the video.
Oh, okay. So basically in our video, we are basically standing, and then the presentation was presenting, and then we're going to speak about it. Is it right?
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Sukriti?
1 second, Vindhya. Sorry, I'll start answering the chats also. There's a question from Nayanthara Menon asking that we have to include all the interviews in the PPT. Just so you know, Nayanthara, so you have only 15 slides. So keep that in mind. If you include all the interviews, it's going to take that entire 15 slide is going to be full of interviews. You will not be able to understand what your insight is. So basically, we want what you learned from that. So if you can include that's great.
Yes, thank you for answering that, Vignesh. Then, all right. And so Geetanjali Aswar.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, actually, I had a question that is it necessary to have an app or device as a solution, or is it good to have solution only in words?
You can have it. It depends on what your solution is, right? You could have a physical, you could have a product, you could have a service, or it could be digital, it could be physical, right? Based on what your solution is, you can put that up. If you're doing something digital, of course, we would like to see some prototypes, as in some screens. How is it going to work? What are the main features? These are things that we want to know. But if your solution is something that is, that is more of a service or something that's going to happen, say for example, how, say, even if you take like food delivery, like Swiggy for example, if it's a complete service, right? Like, so from the time you're hungry and then you open the app and you do this, there are certain things that you do, and then there are certain things that are happening. Like, there is somebody who is getting a notification, they have to go to the restaurant is getting the notification, they're cooking the food, they're packing the food, they're giving it to you. You can show it even in terms of a comic strip. If it's a service, please try to make, a small comic strip of how the whole thing would work, and you can share that. If it's a product, if it's something physical, we'd like to see some kind of a paper prototype at least. By paper prototype, what I mean is, if you are making something, then if you're going to make it out of some kind of paper or cardboard or something, and show what it would look like, that would be great. So it could be a product, it could be a service, it could be an experience. If it's some kind of an experience or something, in whatever way you can best explain your idea, that's something that we are looking for, to understand a little more details about your ideas, and not just say a paragraph about what your idea is. I hope that answers your question.
Yes.
All right, great. Yes. Anyone
There's
else?
a question from Ashish from the chat. Hi Ashish. So to answer your question about how is the process of selection is going to be, so at this point you are looking at the design thinking process and how well you have utilized that. So, and then it's not necessarily you have to follow the 5 steps. We are looking at how well you have identified the problems, how well you have, what are your insights, what are your prototype ideation, what you did, and then what is your prototype, and how is your solution addressing the set problem. So that's all we are looking at it now. There's nothing much complicated at this point, but as we go further, it'll get more layers gets added. For now, we are looking at the process.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Sir, and my one more question is that should we bring this scaled prototype with us or during the final go around, or it is not compulsory?
So Ashish, keep in mind that you're going to pitch it to jury. If you get selected if you're part of that 60, you're going to pitch it to jury, right? So keep in mind that what will make them, what will make you explain the concept better. So if you think that, hey, prototype is going to explain my concept better, please bring it, because at the end of the day, it's a competition. So if you're able to get a prototype, if you have a prototype, and then if a jury looks at it, the way they interact it is entirely different. So keep that in mind, but it's up to you again.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, and one more question is, like, the final round will be like expo, or we must pitch in the final presentation?
It'll be like an expo.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Then Chakrika Reddy.
Is it necessary to add the process of our product in the PPT or involve it in the video which we are submitting it?
It would be good for us to know, yes, the process is something that we're asking you to share. The process in the sense, at least, how did you identify the problem? What is the problem? What are your main findings from your research? And then, what is your solution? So that itself, if you're going to talk about the problem, the 2 main things that we've even shared in the challenge brief is problem finding and solution finding. So if you're able to identify a problem and then share that, hey, this is the problem that we've identified, and we've done some research, we know, we've spoken to all these people, we've seen these things happen. There's also internet articles and newspaper articles supporting these things. So we know that this is really the problem. And from this problem, we've identified that this is the main thing that, people are the main problem. This is what is happening. This is the main point that we want to address. And then you come up with an idea, and then you can make a prototype of that idea. So we want to see that whole journey of what is the problem you found, how did you find it, what is your right? Okay, thank you. All right, yes, Durga Sharan.
Yeah, ma'am, can you please tell what is the insight?
All right, so an insight An insight is, usually we can describe an insight as an aha moment. Okay, an aha moment is, say you're doing a lot of research and then you suddenly identify or you suddenly understand what is the real user need, or why is this problem even happening, right? That would be your insight, and it would be your the way that we have defined your insight is, if you've been able to clearly identify the user's needs and their pain points, that would be that would help you take your project forward, right? Maybe you realize that as you're doing your research, let's take an example. All right, let's think of an example to help you understand what's an insight. Maybe okay, let's take waste management again, right? And maybe you realize that that people are there are a lot of paper cups floating. This is something I think I brought up last time also. Maybe you see a lot of paper cups floating around in a lake near your house, right? And then you're wondering, why is this happening? And then maybe you're going for a walk around the lake, and then you suddenly notice that there's a tea shop near the lake where the guy is serving the tea in paper cups, and there's no dustbin close by, right? And then you have an aha moment that, oh yes, I've seen these teacups in the lake, the empty teacups in the lake, right? And this is where it's coming from, right? And then you identify that the main reason, the why that the problem exists is because of this thing, and this is the main problem that you want to solve, and you've understood what is the need. The need is, there's no dustbin close to the tea shop, and there's no place for people to throw their teacups, right? So clearly identifying your users' needs. When you're doing research on your problem, you may identify so many needs that people have, and maybe some things really stand out to you. Maybe after you conduct say 10 interviews or 20 interviews, you realize that this is the most common thing that is standing out. So and that pops up as an insight sometimes for you. Or you could look at, hey, I know that this is the main problem because this is it goes deeper, right? It goes deeper than the surface, and you understand the real need. So that could be an insight.
Thank you, ma'am.
Just to add, Durga, it could also be, hey, if it's not only the dustbin that is lacking, it's also the whole idea of our mentality of not throwing. So that's where design thinking process helps you, right? You would have come up with a prototype of a dustbin, and then you go place it. When you test it, irrespective of whether there's a dustbin or not, people are still throwing it in the lake. Okay, so that's also another level of insight. So that's where you prototype and test it. Then you come back to say that it's not only dustbin, it's also mindset we have to change. So that's where this process helps you. That's also another level of insight that you're looking at. There's insight at the research level, and there's an insight at prototyping and testing level. So it just doesn't apply in dustbin, also it applies everywhere. So it could be like something like, hey, is it only okay that you collect the dust, the garbage in the dustbin? Does it solve the problem of waste generation? Or is it, hey, do we have to stop generating that much paper cups? So that's also another insight, that as you keep following the process, you'll get more and more. This is just an example, but it could be anything. It's something that is a realization that you get as you're following the process.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vignesh. Yes, Jay is again having his hand up and his actual hand up also. Hi, Jay. Yes, and you can. Yeah.
Ma'am, our idea was for recycling paper, ma'am. Ma'am, so we have come up with a process to recycle the paper, like we'll recycle the waste paper through a few very easy processes. But ma'am, we need to show that on the learning showcase day if we get selected. And ma'am, we have an exam the next day after the learning showcase. I mean, sorry, after the design thinking. Then ma'am, Ma'am, can we have a design thinking round, which is like offline before 17th of March?
Yeah, so you have an online round that you could attend if you have an exam coming up immediately. Say you're shortlisted, right? First,
Yes, ma'am.
we are going to go through one round of shortlisting because right now we have 750 teams have registered. And then from there, we'll have to see how many teams are sending in their projects. And then from there, we will be shortlisting 60, right? 60 teams. So if you are one of the shortlisted teams, we will be reaching out to you. So if you're part of the schools, we will be reaching out to all the schools teams, and we will figure out what is the best way to conduct your final showcase. So in case you have an exam, we will try to have your round virtually, along with others who are also from other parts of the country, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll do it like that so that we don't disrupt your studying. And in case you are selected for Ground Zero, which is the final showcase event, and if you are based in Bangalore, it would be great if you can come, just at least for at least for those couple of hours. If you can come and go, it would be great, because it's a really it's a really big thing to be selected for Ground Zero. But if you really you can still participate virtually during Ground Zero, and we'll do whatever we can to support teams who are from schools who are dealing with exams and everything. We will do everything that we can. We will coordinate with all of you. We will understand what is the best way we can go about it, and we'll do what we can to help support you to go through this entire challenge without affecting your studies.
And ma'am, is it compulsory to have an aha moment? Like, ma'am, for our problem, ma'am, I just like already I was thinking about this problem from a very long time. So, ma'am, is it okay if we don't have an aha moment or something like that?
That's all right if you don't have an aha moment. With maybe you don't recognize that it is an aha moment. Maybe you don't realize that, but it's okay. Maybe you've done your research. From your research, if you've got your the main problems that you are dealing with, that's enough, right? Like maybe you've done all of your research, you've done your interviews, you've done your observations, and maybe you've read a bunch of articles, and then you realize these are the main reasons why this is not working, and I'm going to focus my project on this, right? We want to know what it is that you're focusing on, and how did you arrive at that, right? Whether it's human behavior, whether it's a physical space, whether it's something that's missing. We want to just, if you've just like been able to do that's good. All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, you're welcome. Yes. Akaraju Lohit.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So our video is actually purely text-based and has no narration at all. So is that okay?
I just checked it out. Is there could you tell me about why did you choose to make it text-based? Because how is it different from your presentation? You have a text-based presentation, right? Like that's a PDF, right? That's the text-based thing. So is there a reason that you chose to make your video also only text-based with no narration?
Yeah, ma'am. So without narration, I can actually save time and space. And moreover, if I make it text-based, the audience themselves can actually understand what it actually is. If I narrate everything, I have to put it in a certain format. So then I have to stress more. So make it text-based. I can make an easy slide. I can make an easy, crisp slideshow for the audience to understand.
All right, no problem. You can do that. As long as you are clearly explaining the entire thing that we are looking for, which is if you're clearly explaining the problem, your what the user's needs are and what you've identified, and your solution and your prototype or whatever you've done. If you're clearly going through all of the points that we've stated, it's fine. In whatever way, in any way that you want to do your video, you can do it. It's up to your creativity. So that's fine.
And ma'am, are we also allowed to brainstorm and include multiple solutions from different areas?
Sorry, are you allowed to brainstorm?
And include multiple solutions from for the same problem.
Ideally, we'd like to see one solution that you are taking forward. Of course, as part of the brainstorming process, as part of the design thinking process, you brainstorm on many ideas, right? And from all of those ideas, it would be good if you can take one idea forward and create a prototype for that idea and
Yeah, we
talk
did
about
that.
how that idea would work. Then that's fine. Yeah, you can talk about as part of this process, you came up with all these ideas, but finally you're going with this idea.
Okay.
Fine. All right, great. Anyone else out here? There are a lot of questions that have come in the chat. All right. I'm just going to check in case there's something else in the chat. Okay. In the meantime, okay, Varsha, would you like to ask something?
Yeah. On what basis is the selection gonna happen?
Are you part of the WhatsApp group, Varsha?
Yeah.
You are, right? So it's there on the WhatsApp group. It's also there here in this chat right now. So do you see this one message with all these little stars?
Yeah, I get. Yeah.
Right? So that is the message that describes exactly what the criteria are. So we have the problem, your insights, your solution, your plan to implement, and how you present. Like, is your presentation clear? Is it easy to understand? How well you've done that. So these are the main areas that we'll be looking for while shortlisting. Okay. All the best. Yes, Geetanjali, Aswar.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is it okay that if the problem is related to one community or country, or is it necessary that the problem is faced by overall countries?
We are looking for problems. We are looking for you all to work with problems that you can connect with, right? So problems that you are able to see, you're able to do some kind of research on, that would be ideal, because these are problems that you'll be having a much better understanding of. If you're taking up a problem that an entire country is facing, and you are also one of them facing that problem, say for example, you're looking at a problem faced by teenagers, maybe you're looking at something to do with say addiction, right? Then maybe it's something that you're seeing happen among your friends, and maybe you're seeing something happen, this is a problem that's also happening across the country and world over. Then that's fine. You can take up any kind of problem as long as you are able to connect with the problem, be able to do some research on that problem, and be able to justify what is the main insight or the main the main point you're going to be taking forward to create your solution. So ideally we would say take problems that you can connect to, that you are able to see, that you are able to do research on.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. All right, Varsha, is there anything else?
No.
Okay. All right, Jay, you have another question?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, my question, ma'am, I forgot my question, ma'am. Ma'am, can I ask again once I remember? Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm not in the WhatsApp group, ma'am. Ma'am, can you add me to the group, ma'am?
Yeah, sure. We'll post the WhatsApp link on this on the chat. Right, for those of you who are not on the WhatsApp group, we'll post the link and you can, using the link, join the group. Okay. Vignesh or Shirley, could you help with that? Could you help post the link? Okay, I think maybe they are busy with something. In case the link is not yet posted, I will post it before we finish the session today. All right. Yes. Akaraju Lohit, any other questions? Okay. All right. So Vignesh sir posted the links, the link to the WhatsApp group on the chat. So if you would like to join the WhatsApp group, I would say if you're not yet on the WhatsApp group, join the WhatsApp group. If you have WhatsApp and if you have a phone, you could use your parents' phone in case you don't have it. in case you don't have a phone. So please join, because we will be giving you regular updates about everything that's happening. We're also emailing the same. If you're following your email, that's fine. On the WhatsApp group, sometimes different people also ask questions and we answer those questions. So maybe you get a little more clarity on WhatsApp. So please join if you're not on the WhatsApp group yet. Right. And Shirley has also posted example of insight. So please refer to that as well. There's a link out here in the chat. Please look at the chat to get all, because there are many more questions which have been answered by Shirley and Vignesh. So please check out those answers as well. It will give you some clarity. I'll just go through some of the things that I'm seeing out here in the chat. So Shirley's posted an example of an insight. She sent a link. We are looking for people to come physically on March 17th if you are based in Bangalore. If you're based in any other place outside of Bangalore, you can participate virtually. If you're based somewhere close to Bangalore, not very far away from Bangalore, and you don't mind traveling to Bangalore for the final showcase because you're selected, we are very happy to host you. Okay,
so just so you guys keep in mind that there's an advantage being present in CMR University, because if you're part of that 60, that means you'll be able to pitch it to the jurors live. That just gives you an edge for you. So if you can come, please do come. It just gives you a huge edge.
We are going to consider even the virtual, the rounds as well. But at the same time, it would be great to have you here as well. And okay. As of now, we are planning to announce the results by March 4th, but it may get extended depending on the situation, because right now we are just assessing where we are all at. How many of you have, if you've already submitted your project, could you raise your hand just so that we have a show of hands of how many of you are at what stage? Okay, we have Gagan, 1. Anyone else? Okay, we have Gagan and Akaraju who have submitted. We have some of you who have submitted. Most of you are still in the process of putting it together and submitting it, right?
Mom?
Yeah.
What's the last date of submission for the pitch?
It's 28th of Feb, which is this coming Tuesday.
Okay.
It's before midnight of this coming Tuesday. Yeah. And all right. So please do whatever you can to to put it all together quickly and to submit. Don't worry about anything. Do your best. It's okay. This is a great opportunity for you to learn, and we're really looking forward to it. I think just enjoy the process of doing this. Yes, Karaju, you have any other questions? Okay, no problem.
Mom?
Yeah, 1 second. Yeah. All right, 1 second. Sorry, I just saw this. All right, I've just made Shirley co-host. I'm sorry, I didn't realize where she was and when you joined. Sorry, I hope you've been able to answer. But I'm seeing Shirley on the chat, and it's and there's a lot of important information on the chat. I hope all of you can go through that as well. Right? What are the points that the video will be judged? That's a very important pointer, that message with all the stars. Everyone, please take a screenshot of it and save it, because these are very important points. The same has also been shared on WhatsApp. Right, so can we address more than one SDG? Yes, you can. Absolutely. One more point that I want to tell all of you is to please add your SDG also to your presentation. Right, so I think maybe in the first slide, or in your cover slide, as you have your team name or whatever you're doing, it would be great to also have your SDG as well. Right, in case you haven't, it's okay. But since all of you are here, I just wanted to tell you all that. If we get selected, then only we will exhibit our project. Yes, only if you are selected, shortlisted for the top 60. That's been answered. All right. Basically, okay. Somebody said, thank you for providing us the opportunity. My team have already submitted the docs and video links and my question. Is that how the selection process will be there for the final round? Is it based on challenge teams or randomly the 60 teams are selected? The selection, we are not selecting randomly. We are, all are going to go through, a panel. There are a panel of jury members who will go through all your projects and who will then shortlist the 60. So if we get, say, 300 or 400 submissions, from this jury panel will go through all of them and they will shortlist the top 60 from that. And using, that message with the stars, those are our main criteria for judging. Is it necessary to have an app or a device as a solution, or is it good to have a solution in words? I think I've answered that question before. It depends on whether your solution is a product or a service or something digital. Based on that, you can answer. Basically, a eureka moment. Yes, absolutely. If we're talking about insights, yeah. Okay. Is it compulsory for us to be present at the Design Thinking Day on March 17th? If you're from Bangalore, please come. We've answered all these questions before. Do we need to include interviews in our PPT, please? If you've done your interviews, maybe you've done 5, 10, 15, 20, 60 interviews, please write your main learnings from these interviews. What are the main things that you learned? We don't want to know what question did you ask, what answer did you get, the entire script of your interview. That's not necessary. But we would love to know what are your main learnings from this interview. All right. So I think with that, we've gone through all the questions. Yes. Yeah.
Mom, I personally did not get any credentials to log in to the link. So how am I supposed to post the video and the PPT that we have did?
Oh, you've not got, is it? Have you checked your email? Who's the primary member of your team?
Yeah, it's me.
Sorry?
It's me.
It's
yeah.
you.
Hi, Varsha. Can you just give me your team name?
Yeah, VAT. We are teams.
1 second. What's your team name?
VAT.
Okay. VAT.
We are teams, basically. The abbreviation for that.
But I don't see. Can you give me your email ID that you registered with?
Yeah,
just
sure.
the starting name.
Yeah. Bonda, BONDA.
Okay, 1 second. No, okay. Murtavashini. Okay. Oak Ridge School, right?
Yes.
Okay, fine. 1 second. I'm resending you the credential. Okay, I've sent it again. Please let me know if you have received. If you have not received, just drop a message in the group. I'll see what I can do from my end.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Avyansh, your question?
Ma'am, it's clarified.
Yes, it's clarified, is it? Okay, great. All right. I hope with this we have answered most of your questions. If you have any other questions, now is your chance. And we will be closing very soon. The time is 5:07. We'll wait around for any other questions. Any last question? Please feel free to ask.
Ma'am, can we leave?
Yes?
Ma'am, can we leave?
Yes. You can.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, with that, we'll be closing our session for today. Thank you all, and thank you all for being here. Would be great to see all your faces. If you all can turn on your cameras and tell a quick hi to everyone out here. Would be great to see some faces. Okay, nice. I'm seeing some faces, some familiar faces from last time's AMA as well. There are some animated faces. Okay, nice to see you all. Great, lovely. Hi. Great to see you all, and we are looking forward to your submissions. If you have any other questions feel free to write to us. You have the email ID. You can write to us through the website. You can also ask your question on WhatsApp. So we're available in all these places to answer your questions. And just do your best. It's really okay. Don't worry about anything. And all the best to all of you. Right? Looking forward to seeing you all in the shortlisted round. Right, so take care. All of you are doing great by just even participating in this competition. I think you all need to give yourselves a big pat on the back and a big high five. Just like one big high five to yourself, right? And it's so nice to see you all here on a Sunday evening. Awesome. So take care. All the best, and we are here if you need anything. All right, and with that, we'll take one quick screenshot of everyone out here. Can you all give me a big hi and a big smile, and I'll take a screenshot. Great. Okay, great. Thank you. And all right. So have a good evening, everybody, and see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye. Thank you. All right. I will be ending the call now. Thank you.